Good evening, Madam Chair. Thank you for the questions and answers posed by the Minister of Rummy. Minister, you mentioned that, back to Well Road, in your answers previously, that Well Road is not part of the main road of St. Martin. And this answer today, you mentioned that Well Road is part of the resurfacing program, which is typically the main roads. So which one is it? Because in your answer, you state here, the MP would know is not designated as a main road in St. Martin. That's your answer. I didn't write an answer. That's your answer. Tonight, you again say, Well Road is not part of the side road project, it's already paved, it's part of the resurfacing project. So which one is it? Is it the main road, as you consider it, or not? Because resurfacing is typically under the main roads, as you stated. And I would also like the minister to clarify or get the answers from the ministry, because Well Road was part of extra works that went under the CAPEX. So you could ask Mr. Ruban or any one of them, I believe, that it was there. Because now you're stating that Well Road will be part of the CAPEX 2025, which is not guaranteed, because we don't know budget 2025 still has to come, it still has to be approved, and it still has to be then approved by CFT and so forth. So there's no guarantee. What you're stating now is you're not bringing any hope, right, to the community of Colby, in particular the ones who are going over Well Road every day, which I would consider right now one of the worst roads in St. Martin is frequently used. So it's two things. Either we're going to get the information and see that it was there, it was under made work, part of the CAPEX, yes. Or if you see it upon yourself as it being a very important road, then make some changes in the priority list and get it done. But don't say that you have to put it onto 2025 for a budget does not improve. Or at the very least then, let's start patching it up. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, MP Irian. I now give the floor to MP Doran.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would just like to highlight some inconsistencies that I heard during the deliberation just now when the minister was giving his responses. With respect to the housing project and the conditions that needed to be adhered to, the focal point, the land transfer and the performance agreement, the focal point was designated, so there is a focal point. I'm not sure if the minister is not being informed adequately, but in the policy department, there is a focal point. I just wouldn't call the individual's name. They were appointed as such. With respect to the land policy, with the land issuance, land transfer to the St. Martin Housing Development Foundation, as I mentioned earlier, that was not done based on the land, missing the land policy and the notaries not agreeing to sign over anything. So we then discussed and explained to them that the land issuance policy, the government-owned companies and sort of ZBOs would be exempt from such, which the Housing Foundation would have fallen under. So that just wasn't completed, but everything was done in terms of the designation. Lastly, the performance agreement. A MOU was signed to agree towards a performance agreement because that was needed for us to go to Washington back in March of 2023. So for the minister to sit here, and I ain't gonna call the minister a liar, but simply misrepresent the truth and say that nothing was done based on the conditions, I find it quite worrisome because the proof is in the pudding. And all these documents are there. So Minister, if you're not receiving it, I'll see what I have in my phone still. I'll try to forward you, as I don't have access to my email, but whatever information I have, I'll send to you. Because I think it's quite ridiculous now to be going back and forth. Lastly, Madam Chair, well, one before the last actually, the minister mentioned that it would take 6 to 18 months to hire a project manager to have the policy done. Madam Chair, the minister has 2 experts sitting next to him, one of them who was the author of said policy, and saying that the DDAM arrest was not considered in the policy. The DDAM arrest, basically in a nutshell, and I'll cram it right down, is saying that there needs to be a policy. The DDAM arrest does not dictate the way and the manner in which we put our policy. Of course, that is an example based on the court verdict, but I just want to let the minister know 6 to 18 months is quite worrisome to me, and you have all the expertise basically next to you. I would say 50% then. And lastly, Madam Chair, through you, I would hate to have to go through all the names of the roads, But Minister, I'll save you some time. Through you, Madam Chair, I'll send you the list of the roads, and Well Road is on the list of the roads. Well Road and St. James Road were one of the last roads to be added based on the fact of the complexity. And also there's another project that was tied into the Well Road as well when it comes to drainage and water runoff. So, Madam Chair, that will be my clarifications for now. And if the minister is not being informed adequately by the ministry or claiming not to be adequately informed, we can always have a dialogue, and I'll share that information. Thank you very much.
Thank you, MP Doran. Minister, do you need, after I give the floor to MP York for clarifications, and then I'll ask the minister what time he needs. MP York, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Once again, good evening, Minister and support staff. I don't have much questions. When it pertains to the priority list, Minister, through you, Madam Chair, how is that determined? Based on what? Is it a grading list? And if it's a grading list, what exactly are the variables on this list?
Member of Parliament York, remember you're asking clarification.
It's a clarification based on questions posed and explanations given to Longwall Road, Arch Road, and how the roads are being chosen. So I'm asking to the minister because he stated that initially he wanted to do Arch Road, and then he moved on to Longwall Road. So I would like clarification in how these decisions are made. Yeah, that could pass, Madam President? Yeah,
barely,
okay, good.
But
yes, so that is my main question. And when as it pertains to Well Road, and to piggyback off what my colleague just said, I think saying that is going to fall under CAPEX 2025 is a beetje kort door de bocht. That's basically counting our eggs before they hatch, because CAPEX 25 is not a guarantee, nor imminent. I said already, imminent. Well Road is a road, although it's not officially designated as a main road. Anybody that drives on that road during the day knows it has the intensity of one. So even though it's not designated as a main road, it has the intensity of one, and it has the drainage problems that the minister alluded to, and it has a very high density rate when it comes to residents that live there. So I'll only assume for those points I just named that it would actually fall very high on the priority list, especially seeing that there were plans and one or two contracts already signed for Well Road almost a year ago now. So to see that that's being pushed back to the end of the line, actually not even the line, into the next line, I don't really fully understand that train of thought. I understand it's taken a lot, budgetary reasons, it could take up a big chunk of your budget, I think, through you, Madam Chair. I think maybe that's the only reason I could fathom that is being pushed back. But where there's a will, there's a way. And yes, for the examples I just explained, Well Road, I think, is being severely not taken seriously enough. So I would like to hear from the minister. I'd like to implore the minister to once again to go over his priority list and to see how Well Road can be moved up or actually enter that list. Thank you.
thank you, MP York. And at this time now, I look to the minister. Minister, you have a few answers to clarify, and I ask if you could indicate how much time, unless you're prepared and ready to go right into the answers, or there is some time you would like to have, then I would like to know what time.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We believe about 5 minutes should suffice.
Okay, I will adjourn this meeting until 10 minutes past 8. So 8 o'clock and 10 minutes, 10 minutes past 8. The meeting will be adjourned.